What's up, everybody? Joe here doing the YouTube Baseball Card Hall of Fame, a response video to Ray from Philly. Ray asked us to nominate 10 cards for the Baseball Card Hall of Fame. And of course, I had to submit it. I think tomorrow night is the last day to get your nominations in. I have 5 honorable mentions and then 10 cards. And what I did is I'm piggybacking off of Mike, Baseball Collector's idea. I'm doing 10 cards that I own. Didn't think it would be as fun to show you guys another PowerPoint slide. So we'll see what you guys think. So, and also this video is in 4K, so hopefully the quality is pretty nice. First off, this is an honorable mention. This is the 1955 Topps Sandy Koufax. Just a beautiful card. 55 and 56 are two of my favorite sets of all time. And this set is just, this card in particular is an absolute beauty. And then, of course, you have the cartoons on the back. But just an awesome card. And it's crazy to think that he retired at the age of 30 and yet is considered to be the greatest living legend when it comes to pitchers. So there you go. Honorable mention number 1. Honorable mention number 2. I haven't seen too many people have this card on their list, but I figured I'd get this in there. Of course, it's an honorable mention, but this is one of those cards that's. I mean, this base card is at this point in a PSA 10 is selling for like $400, and just an absolutely beautiful card. And it's just just a Topps update. Of course, a lot of attention goes to the Bowman Chrome Auto, but this is one of those modern cards that's become pretty iconic. So I figured I'd get that one in there. Another honorable mention that I know has been on a lot of people's lists is the 1980 Topps Rickey Henderson, and absolutely love the yellow uniforms. I think the A's should wear this every single game. Just an awesome card of Rickey Henderson, the steals leader and Hall of Famer. Fourth honorable mention will be for the 93 SP Derek Jeter. Again, very tough to leave this card off the list. I was just looking at the other day, there are only, for a modern card, there are only 500 of these that are in mint condition and only 22 that are a PSA 10. So it just goes to show how difficult it is to get a perfectly centered and no surface issues on this particular card. Very hard to grade. And obviously iconic because of Derek Jeter. And then finally, the final honorable mention, I should say, is part of the 1971 Topps Thurman Munson. I absolutely love this card. And I got to give credit to Todd Tuscher. It is actually, he told me that this guy that's sliding into home, his name is Chuck Dobson. Todd Tuscher, by the way, is a fellow YouTuber. Chuck Dobson sliding into home in Game 1 of a doubleheader in July 16 of 1970. So July 16, 1970, and he was actually called safe on this play. The A's went on to win Game 1. The Yankees went on to win Game 2. And there's the back. So again, and that finishes up my honorable mentions. And now on to the 10 cards that I am nominating for the Hall of Fame. And you're going to want to stick to the end because I have a very special card to show you guys at the end. It's pretty awesome. So number 1, I wanted to get a card from the 1800s on here. And I've mentioned this card many times. The King Kelly from the Goodwin Champion set is one of my favorite cards of all time. The fact that this card is from 1888 is absolutely unbelievable to me, and literally one of the most beautiful sets. Whether you want to take King Kelly or Cap Anson, either way, I don't know. I feel belongs in the Hall of Fame, although it hasn't gotten a lot of votes, so I'm pretty sure it will not get into the Hall of Fame. But just thought that was a beautiful card and one of my favorite sets of all time. So, and it's just awesome. King Kelly, one of the first baseball stars. And then, of course, he's playing for the Boston Bean Eaters. So there you go. Number 2 on my list is the T206 Ty Cobb. This is 1911 Piedmont cigarettes. Now, this was in the news recently, once again, because of the Lucky 7 find. And apparently they found another one. So they found an 8th one. And on the back of the Lucky 7 find, and I'll show you guys, these were given out at the National back in 2016. On the back is Ty Cobb, King of the Smoking Tobacco World. So there was this Lucky 7 find, and then an 8th one was found in the attic of the same house. And so just this has become sort of an iconic card, with the Wagner and the Eddie Plank card. To me, those are the 3 cards from the T206 set. Next up, so number 3 on my list of cards that I'm going to nominate, and of course, is the 1933 Goudey, number 144. And I just think this is a fascinating card. There's 4 of the Babe Ruth cards from 1933, and for me, this is the most beautiful. Of course, it was double printed compared to the other 3, so it's the least rare of the 3. And then the interesting thing is that there was Goudey, and then there was Worldwide Gum, and then on top of that, apparently there were some cards that, I guess when they did the double printing, there's probably 2 printing versions of it. One that's a little bit better focused than the other. And I think that I would guess that this is probably the better focused version. But just an absolute beauty in terms of Babe Ruth. It's, to me, the best looking Babe Ruth card out there. Next up, number 4 on my list, and this is in no particular order, by the way. It's just in from oldest to newest, is the 1939 Play Ball Joe DiMaggio. Absolutely love this card. I'm not a big fan of the 38 Goudey. I think I've mentioned that many times. It's very cartoonish, and just love this particular card. It's just a great shot of Joe DiMaggio with a big smile on his face. And so there you have it. And this is actually one of those cards that's very difficult to get centered. So beautiful card, 1939 Play Ball. Another card that I'm going to nominate towards the Hall of Fame, this should not come as a surprise, is the 1951 Bowman Willie Mays. And, the background of this is a little strange. You got the background, and then there's like some sort of shed in the background. But this is one of those cards that it's in every magazine, and it's incredibly iconic and of one of the greatest baseball players of all time. Next up, number 6 on my list, and again, no surprise here, is the 1954 Topps Hank Aaron. And the cool thing about this particular card, if you look at Mantle, some people, they love the 51 Bowman, they love the 52 Topps. With Willie Mays, again, 52 Topps, 51 Bowman. With Hank Aaron, there's only one card to own, and that's the 54 Topps Rookie. And just an absolutely beautiful and iconic card that has to go in the Hall of Fame. Next up is a card that I've seen a couple people vote for, and I just think it would be awesome to get this card in the YouTube Hall of Fame. And that is, of course, the 1989 Fleer Bill Ripken FF Error. And I was reading back up on this again, and at least from what I've read, Bill Ripken is actually the person that wrote this on the knob of the bat so that he could find it, I think during spring training, and you can see there's not too many people in the stands. And I guess they probably took a picture when he wasn't ready, and the rest is folklore, and then, Fleer tried to cover it up, and they had many different versions of it. To me, it's the greatest error card of all time. And of course, you could vote for the Frank Thomas no name, but for me, especially growing up as a kid, this has to be on the list, and I think it would be awesome if this made it into the YouTube Hall of Fame. Next up, and this is going to be a homer pick, and I don't think I'm going that much on a limb with this particular card, but the 84 Donruss Donnie Baseball. I just went out of order, didn't I? 84 Donruss in terms of year, whatever. 84 Donruss Don Mattingly. This obviously is in a PSA 10, but you know, one of those cards. And of course, it's not going to get enough votes to get into the YouTube Hall of Fame. But I figure, what the hell, I'm going to vote for it. Donnie Baseball never seems to make it. He's always just short, whether it be a manager or a player or even in the Baseball Card Hall of Fame. But Donnie, you have my vote. And for those of you that watch my channel, you guys know I'm a huge Don Mattingly fan, so this should not come as a huge surprise that I'm voting for this card. Two more cards to go, and the next one, again, is pretty obvious, and it's been on everybody's list. The 89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. card, number 1. And I got a couple of these cards. This is one of them that is not graded. And again, just an incredibly iconic card. And if you don't have it on your list, then you're just being silly. So, and just, it started the whole premium, you know, baseball card world. And it's just a great, you know, shot of Ken Griffey Jr. And at the height of baseball card popularity, it's the number 1 in the set. So there you go. And again, just want to mention that, of course, I don't own the 52 Topps Mantle or the T206 Wagner, so I won't be voting those in, but I'm not worried. They're going to get in because I've seen Ray from Philly. He's been doing updates on the voting, and those are clearly in first and second, I think. So my last card that I'm going to nominate is a card that I just got in today. So, and I've been talking about this card for a long time. I think it's absolutely deserving to be part of the YouTube Baseball Card Hall of Fame. I hope that it gets in. And like I said, hopefully you guys are ready and you stuck through this entire video. And here it is, my number 10 nominee. And I'm going to slowly bring it into frame. There it is, guys. The 1951 Bowman Mickey Mantle. This is in an SGC3, and I looked all over the place for a card that was pretty nicely centered. Like, it really mattered to me finding something in around a 3 that where the card, what, like, the aesthetics of the card weren't, like, there's so many cards with print lines, or it's so incredibly off-center that it takes away from the card. I've seen so many cards with a jersey that's got like bubbles in it, or there's a stain over here. So it took me a long time to find this particular card, and when I found it, I jumped on it. So, and you can see here's the back, just, you know, to no surprise, especially with a 3, it's got some staining on the back. So definitely not a perfect card, which is why it's a 3, and it's got some rounded corners and all of that. But the fascinating thing about this card is that a lot of people assume that there are many more 51 Bowman than 52 Topps cards, but at least according to PSA in their population report, they have 1,500 cards that were graded by the 1951 Bowman, whereas for 1952 Topps, 1,300 cards on the population report. So not that much of a difference between the 52 Topps and the 51 Bowman in terms of population. And then, of course, this is also part of the high-numbered set. And to me, it's just as beautiful as the 52 Topps card. Maybe not as iconic, but it's almost like it's practically right there. So I actually have 2 cards in the 1951 Bowman set, the Mickey Mantle and the Willie Mays. So anyway, guys, that is it. I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if not, what are you going to do? This card is absolutely Absolutely gorgeous. So, Ray from Philly, awesome contest, man. Thank you for everyone for watching. And again, I'll put a link to Ray's channel in the description if you guys are interested in seeing what other people voted for. I think he's gonna show the results as to what cards made it into the Baseball Card Hall of Fame. He's gonna just do 10. I think it's on Sunday night. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you later.